In news that surprises absolutely no one, we are not seeing any orders from China for U.S. soybeans, and we are normally already starting to see those because harvesting starts in September. And it is being reported that the Chinese government is pressuring Chinese importers to not purchase soybeans from the United States. And if that doesn't happen, then the price of soybeans is going to continue to fall. And right now, it is below the break-even point, which means that every farmer in the Midwest, in the Dakotas, and all over the country that produces soybeans for export and sale is going to lose money this year. That's not good for the farmers. It's not good for the economy. And we told you. We tried telling you.
I really hope there's not any soybean farmers out there that voted for Trump, because Iowa is going to be losing a lot of money annually with U.S. aid being defunded, which contributed to a lot of the soybean purchases in Iowa, on top of the over 60% of goods and produce and products from soybeans that China gets. We are going to be losing lots of money. So hopefully maybe that can be resolved.
Trump tariffs killing the American farmer. Soybeans are way down. China going to Brazil to get their soybeans instead of America. But it's not only that. It's people like Jim Jordan from Ohio votes against every agriculture bill in his history. 15, 16 years in Congress? He's voted against them all. Do the Trump tariffs the first time around hurt the farmer? Yes, with a bailout. Agriculture welfare. When are you guys going to learn that Trump is not looking out after you? He's not looking out after any American except for himself and his piddly-ass family. So you guys need to wake up. For years, Democrats have supported farmers, but you, the farmer, said we don't want to vote Democrats. They're a bunch of socialists. But now who wants socialist money? It's disgusting. We should be supporting American farmers. They feed the world. We Democrats know this. Let me know in your comments what you think.
Wow. Soybeans farmers for Trump. Man, it is going out of hand. Remember, it's mid-September. For those of you who don't know, mid-September, it's the time of harvesting soybeans. So imagine being a farmer, harvesting your soybeans, and you don't have a market. Your market is no longer there. You've been with that market for almost even more than a decade. And right now, you don't have that market. Soybeans farmers. China is no longer interested in your soybeans. They have decided to go with Brazil and other countries because they are trustful. They are trustworthy. But you guys, you are not trustful. Because wherever you've showed China that, you cannot be trustful. So, soybeans farmers right now in the United States are facing a financial crisis due to the combination of trade policies, market disruption, and raising production cost. Mostly point is the market. Because if it's a harvest time and you don't have market, man, you suffer. So it is very sad to see a farmer who has spent months, caring about the crops, and by the end he doesn't have a market. Those are the farmers. Those are the American farmers. Those are the MAGA farmers. Men who are facing such reality. Having market in your hands and you throw it away. You wanted to punish China. That's what you wanted. So have you punished China, or China is the one that is punishing you right now? Man, all right, folks. We have some videos we're going to watch together. Please, let's watch till the end. I'll come back with my commentary. Don't go without subscribing. Don't forget to like this video. I am your presenter, Fikazo.
In the 2024 election, nearly 78% of farming counties voted for Trump. That's not my opinion, that's the data. Farmers were some of the strongest supporters for him. But now, China, which used to buy more than half of America's soybean crops, said, nope, not anymore. Makes sense. And they've canceled purchases, suspended imports from major U.S. exporters, and turned to Brazil instead. And that leaves American farmers with silos full of unsold crops and no buyers. And what are those farmers doing? They're turning to Washington and saying, please bail us out. They want billions in government money again. But here's the thing. Many of these same folks cheered when Medicaid was cut. They fought against universal health care. They shouted that school lunches shouldn't be free, and they called welfare a handout. But when they need help, suddenly it's not socialism. Suddenly it's survival. Now, I want to pause here because I know not every farmer voted for this. There are farmers who saw it coming, who knew this was a bad deal, and they're being dragged under too. They're in the same boat as everyone else who warned about this and didn't vote for it. And for them, it's devastating. They're staring down, losing their farms, their livelihoods, everything. That's awful, and it deserves to be acknowledged. But for those who did cheer these policies on, who turned a blind eye to the warnings, who laughed when others lost healthcare and told them they needed to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, or didn't want food programs, your hatred, your racism, and your refusal to see the writing on the wall, that's what landed you here. And now you're finding out just how expensive that ignorance really is. So yes, you're in a hard position, and you probably feel like you're about to lose everything. But I hope you remember this moment, because the same government safety nets that you've mocked, that you've judged, and you've denied others are now the only thing you're hoping will save you. That's not rugged independence. That's not free markets. That's hypocrisy, and it's costing all of us.
So the farmers in Arkansas want a bailout from, DT. And it's funny because they voted for this to happen, basically. They voted to go ahead and lose the two biggest buyers of soybeans. One is, what is it called? Department of, I forget, but basically they bought the soybeans and would send them abroad to feed hungry children or the needy in other countries. And the other, I think they were number 2 buyers, right? And then the number 1 buyers was China. And because of the tariffs and the trade war, China doesn't want to buy soybeans from the United States anymore. So now you have a bunch of farmers, MAGA, who voted for this, are crying because nobody wants to buy their soybeans, and they're losing money and they're losing their livelihoods. And now they want a bailout, which is a handout, but they don't want to give out handouts to anyone else, but they're okay taking them. Anyways, this is the kind of stuff that makes me so angry when I hear about it, because you actively voted against your own interests because you thought it would hurt people that you hate, but instead it's hurting you now, so now you want to cry about it. Do you think DT cares about you? No. Are you a billionaire? No, then he doesn't care about you. Get it through your thick skulls. And what's really funny to me too is people love the big beautiful bill because they think they're not affected by it, because they think they're rich. The rich that you think you are is not the rich that they're talking about. Okay? I think it's cute that you think you're rich. That's nice. I'm glad that you're comfortable. But you're not rich like how they are talking about the rich in this bill. They're talking about billionaires and multi-millionaires. But anyhow, happy Monday. Sorry to bring you this news, but I keep saying I wish California would just pull away. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't think a lot of people want to be part of that United States anymore. we provide all the money that goes to these states like Arkansas. And I don't want to pay into that anymore. You don't care about all people, we do. You only care about yourselves. So I wish states could kind of like leave and form their own little countries or one smaller country.
In 2018, Iowa was hit particularly hard by Trump's first trade war. Let's dive into that, shall we? This is going to be a fun one. Soybeans. Retaliatory tariffs from China. Iowa's biggest soybean buyer caused exports to China to drop by 74% in 2018. In 2018, it's almost like they maybe should have seen this fucking coming, huh? My goodness. Pork. Also, China's tariffs on U.S. pork cost Iowa producers hundreds of millions of dollars. Once lost, these export markets are difficult to regain as China turned to alternative suppliers like Brazil or Argentina. We're seeing this happen in multiple different industries right now because of Trump's second trade war that, we probably should have seen coming. Let's continue. Corn prices also dropped. Overall economic impact in Iowa State University report estimated that trade disruptions in 2018 could cost the state's economy up to $2.2 billion and affect about 10,000 jobs across various industries. Government assistance. This is my favorite part. In an attempt to compensate farmers, the Trump administration created the Market Facilitation Program, MFP, providing up to $23 billion in federal aid. $23 billion. Billion dollars. Maybe that's why they didn't fucking care to elect him a second time, because they knew they could just beg his ass for billions of dollars worth of handouts again. Almost like socialism for me, but not for thee, right? God forbid we feed fucking kids in school. God forbid we don't want people to go bankrupt to get life-saving surgery. But we can spend billions of dollars bailing out farmers because they continue to vote against their own fucking interest. Dog, I'm so tired. Like, I am genuinely so tired. I need to put the TikTok down for a couple hours, go to the gym, hit this bench day, get a sick pump in. Like, this was supposed to be a fitness account at first. I wouldn't have it any other way, though, because honestly, I've been looking at the fitness side of talk right now. I don't want to be any fucking part of it. Not one bit.
All right, give me a little time and then I explain to you this. Farmers, it's not the first time they voted against their own interest. Whenever they did, they get what? They get saved. It's the taxes of the people that save them every day. Every time they mistake, it is the taxes of Americans that go in and save them. Now, these farmers, that's why right now, people are not even calling for sympathy. They no longer have sympathy for you guys, let alone the small-scale farmers. Let's focus on these farmers who do big, who export. Now, you don't have the market. Your soybeans is going to be wasted. Of course, it's going to be wasted. China is not going to buy it. And I believe China is the first consumer or is in the first countries that consume soybeans. So it is very hard for people to understand that you had that market and then in the morning you wake up and you want just to end that market, saying that you are going to punish that country, that you are bringing, jobs in America, you are bringing industries in America, and then the guy you voted implemented tariffs. Now tariffs are affecting you, trade wars are affecting you because you guys, you've never cared. So you cannot call people to have sympathy on you or to have, to feel sorry for you guys because it's something that is very easy to understand. Now, you lost access to the Chinese market because China has historically been the largest consumer for American soybeans, purchasing a significant portion of U.S. crops due to trade dispute and retaliatory tariffs. China have largely stopped purchasing U.S. soybeans, which has crippled the primarily export market for American farmers. Man, you know that you've planted your soybeans and you want the market and you want also, you've invested a lot of money. You farmers, you've invested a lot of money in that farm. You've invested thousands, millions, invested a lot of money. You've been keeping that farm for ages. But right now, saying that you don't have market, it is up to you. And remember the guy you trusted and never even cared about you. Do you believe that the guy will come and sit with you and discuss about the issue that farmers are facing? No way. He's going to sit with his billionaires because they want to change farming industry. They want your farm. They want to take that farm because very soon you're not able to manage the farm. Very soon you're going bankrupt. So you're no longer able keeping that farm. What's going to happen? You're going to lose that farm. That's how it is. But you guys, you never thought about it. Not the first time, not the second. Right now you're requesting for bailouts. So from the hustled money of Americans who are sold to get that tax, paying the tax to the government, you want that money to come back to you guys. And you're the one who caused all this to you. Man, it is a very sad story. It is a very sad story to hear it in the year of 2025. It's a mid-September now. With a key market closed off, American farmers are left with a massive surplus of soybeans the domestic market cannot absorb. This excess supply leading to an oversupply that drives down the price per bushel. For many farmers, the price they received for their crops is now below their cost of production. So, if you're operating under your cost of production, you know what's going to happen? You're going to go bankrupt. Because whatever you invest in that farm, you're not going to get it. Now, let me give you a simple example. Let's say you bought your seeds at this price. Then, it is this time of harvesting, you don't have the market. The market that was good. But it had been closed off by who? By who? It's you. Because maybe you may not understand how you close that market. You guys, you voted against your own interest. You voted for tariffs, trade wars. China, they will also do retaliate. Yes. And then, they are not here to joke. What they will do, they will deny soybeans from America to come to China. Because also they want their, respect. Okay? They want their respect. So, farmers, right now, the local market is not going to help you because there will be oversupply. Most of you guys, you will want to sell your soybeans. You will want to sell, because you're on the rush. Some of you are scared. You don't know the next step. So the local market will not just take all your soybeans. So what will happen is the oversupply. Oversupply, when it happens, you're going to reduce the price. Once you reduce the price, you know what's going to happen? You're going to sell at a lower price. So you spend a lot in taking care of those crops, but again, you get little in selling those crops. So you will be in minus. That's a bankrupt. You not pay your insurance. You not pay your profits. There's no profits. You will not also be able to farm again. You see what you've cost to you guys. So I'm not laughing at you farmers, but I'm at least, showing you how, you guys, you did wrong. I know there are some farmers right now who don't know even what's going on, who are still like, they are okay with what's happening. Maybe it doesn't come yet to your door. But I know also there are farmers who are suffering, praying to God that, oh God, please do something. Please do something. You've seen Alkansas, they gathered together to play because they don't have any other option. The guy you trusted doesn't even care about you. That's the hardest part. The guy you trusted doesn't care about you. It's like he doesn't know you. Man, you lost millions of money you're gonna lose in this season. I pray to God that you got a solution. That's my prayer. I pray to God that you got a solution, because you guys, you need a solution right now. What you don't know is that you have increased your competition from Brazil, because with the US essentially locked out of the Chinese market, China has turned the other major soybeans producers, mostly notably Brazil. These have given a significant advantage and has led to a long-term shift in global market share, which may be difficult to US to regain even if trade relation improves. Because in business we do, in trades we do, there is what we call trust. If you lose that trust, man, it is hard to regain it. So you farmers, you've lost the trust from your buyer, from someone who's buying 60 to 70% of your soybeans. Right now, you don't have that. Then, voting your tariffs, there is a rising of cost production, because even as prices for their product fall, farmers are facing increased costs for essential inputs. So those tariffs you put it on goods. So the goods from other countries, man, they have tariffs. It means you're still going to buy those, essentials you need at a higher price. Why was it hard to understand this, farmers? Because even a kid can understand. Yes, it's easy to understand. There was Project 2025. There was a people who warned you, telling you, be careful, don't do this. It is not the first time. It is not the first time, farmers. It is not the first time. You should have done better. You shouldn't have acted like this. Because by the end of the day, you're going to put yourself in debt and financial precarity. Because the consistent financial losses are forcing farmers to dip into savings, take on more debt and potentially face bankrupt. The American Soybeans Association has warned that farmers are standing at a trade and financial precipice. So, when someone is about to go bankrupt, you know what you do? You take many loans because you want to save your business. You take loan from here, loan from there, loan from there. So, and then you reach at a point where you're not able to pay that loan. So, that time they declare you as a bankrupt. No longer no any other person that is going to trust you anymore, because you've lost that trust. You've lost that trust. Now, you know what's happening in the farming community? It is the uncertainty, lack of forward planning. So the unpredictable nature of trade, negotiation, and lack of a stable market make it nearly impossible for farmers to plan for the future. Yeah, you cannot plan for the future if you don't have market. So are you going to plant your soybeans again if you don't have the market? No way. It is impossible. Because you already have the soybeans from last season. So without a clear trade deals, they can't secure sales, contractors, or confidently make a decision about planting and storage for the next season. That's what I was saying. So you've put yourself in the problems right now that is hard to solve. That is very hard to solve. Farmers, you put yourself in the problems that is very hard to solve. Yes, you are valuable people. In our society, we value because you feed us. But again, you did wrong. You did wrong. Because you know that you always depend on the government aid. Maybe that's why you did that. But I'm not expecting this again, because it has been many, many times. Because to survive the economic fallout, many farmers have become, increasingly reliant on government assistance and subsidies. While these payments have provided a crucial lifeline, they are no longer a long-term solution and do not replace the stability and profitability of a healthy export market. So, depending on the government, it will not always favor you. Maybe they are not going to give you that bailout. And people are claiming that you are taking their taxes. Yes, because they're the one paying the taxes. So you're taking their taxes in your farms, and you're the one who did wrong. So whatever you supported, it have never come to actions. Whatever you believed, it have never, come to reality. That's how farmers are right now. So you farmers, you should have done it better. You shouldn't have reached at this point where you even, throw away your market. Having a market is a privilege to a farmer, mostly a market like China, who always take like 60 to 70% of your produce. But you guys, you say we are punishing China. You celebrated punishing China. We are punishing China. Now China is punishing you now. China is punishing you. All right. I feel the pain, okay, of farmer right now because no other action. There's no next step, no market. Government is not looking at you. Only pray to God that you can get back your market or you can get, bailouts like the way Arkansas farmers have done. Because right now, no solution. All right, folks, tell me what do you think about these farmers because it's very sad to hear such stories. It's so touching and let's pray for these farmers, man. And man, these farmers deserve prayers. Nothing can save them right now. It's prayers because no action can save them. Even if they go and claim back that market, it's not gonna be the same because man, China have moved, and it was the biggest market, man. All right, soybeans farmers, it is time to harvest. Maybe let's pray for God to see what's going to do for you because no other option. All right, folks, tell me what do you think about these farmers. Tell me what do you think about the soybeans farmers that are facing bankrupts. They are going broke, man. It is so hard. I am your presenter, Fikazo. Thank you so much.